that joke on the air, we'll get letters. We'll get a warning label too. Oh, hi, we're back. It's Poet the Poet, as you must be aware of if you were paying attention. And now we have David Mark Speer, who was born in Miami, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia, and even Brooklyn. He just loves getting born.
Yeah.
That's right, okay.
Thanks.
Now he's in Manhattan and Brooklyn, working for a newsletter publisher. They use all the letters, actually. He's been writing short fiction for a number of years now, and we may get a little short fiction later. Performs as a storyteller mainly, and now is branching off into poetry. He's influenced by Carver, Dostoevsky, Dos Passos, whatever you got, and Hemingway. Well, you go Hemingway, and I'll go mine.
That's right.
Yeah, well, we were talking about vaudeville before, and that's why you're getting this kind of dialogue. Says the poetry is a new endeavor, but is an outgrowth of lyrical imagination and wanting to have shorter material for live performances, to say nothing of TV.
That's right.
So, let's say nothing about TV. He's also got a little escapade going where he hosts an open mic at the Hell's Kitchen Bar and Grill, where even Satan goes hyperventilating.
That wasn't my line. That's yours.
No, it was yours. I don't mind sharing the credit here. Now, David, welcome the poet.
Thank you, Robert.
If you dare. Why don't we get right into that poem?
Okay. This is called Etude Noir. Listen close. Take a study in night. Turn an ear to the undercurrent rumblings of everyone's arguments and fights. Let's do it, man. Beat the hell out of me. Come get a piece of this, or at least try. Bring it on. We'll see who's living right. Go play in traffic, walk into the walls, throw yourself down the stairs and knock yourself out. Look here, the news is on. Somebody got shot, somebody else got tossed out of a window, lightning struck twice in the same spot, somebody's moaning in the dark. If someone's thought it's been done, not much new under the sun, except for the unspeakable violations we can invent on our own. Break into your own home, steal home, creep along the same old carpet, discover, find yourself, shot to death in a pool of your own cold blood. Dream it or live through it, pick up your pickaxe and bust out the windows. Bejeweled raindrops descend the air shaft, jagged razors to split open the wondering eye, all in good vitreous humor. So let's all do our part. Share the laughter of the slaughterhouse, reminisce with a hangman, start a conga line to the tune of a dirge, reverently render a study in night. Etude Noir.
I've done a lot of that. It's gotten me some of my best dates. How about you?
I haven't had a date in God knows how long.
Well, we'll be flashing an 800 number later in the program, so you can call up and get David for your very own house.
All right. You want to hear the story now?
I want to ask you, what got you started into poetry?
What got me started in poetry?
This lyrical outgrowth we're talking about.
Well, mainly it was because most of the stories I've written over the past 4, 5, 6 years contained a lot of elements that I would consider poetic or lyrical, and but sometimes you ended up with a piece that just didn't go narratively. It just wasn't a story, and so do something a little different. And it was also just fear. Some inspiration I got from a couple of other poets, Brooklyn poets I know, Steve Freed from one of them.
Yeah.
Gave me the impetus just to go ahead and put it down in lines,
It's good old Steve Freed, our poetic EMS technician.
A good man and a co-host at the Hell's Kitchen Bar and Grill.
That's good. That's good to know too. And actually, I've ridden with him on his ambulance once. I couldn't get a cab, and once was enough for me. Anyway, but I'm not here to tell stories tonight. Actually, David, you are. So, how about a story?
All right. Let's say a short piece called Apologia. This is a love letter that'll never be sent. The following is the result of yearnings gone unquenched and dreams gone to seed. In no way am I complaining. My fortunes are my own, created through hard work and attention to the cultivation of a fulfilling inner life. With that said, I now say that I'm sorry for myself, for those I've left behind, and in some small way, I hope that just recalling the past, remembering and acknowledging will help to soothe that which aches and cool whatever fires burn within the soul, crying out in this voice with these words. I saw you in a dream last night. It was good to see you that way, considering how we've parted and grown since that time long past. In the dream, we were on a town committee or PTA board or something, trying to work out a perplexing question before the group. We were assembled in an office around a glass table smoking cigarettes and very tired. The conversation turned from the issue at hand, something about fire codes in a maternity ward, to a relationship that had soured between two other people in the group. The noise of argument faded, and I saw only you, silent and dressed in immaculate blue, wearing the face of the person I'd most like to meet I described once in a high school essay I never turned in. You were a rough draft, too raw and unrefined to use as an example of my best work, but I do keep a copy and still read over it from time to time. I said to you, this is the same as it always was. I still love you, Leanna. I always, always have. You looked puzzled but not angry, so I continued. It was always you. Even when I said it wasn't, it was, it is now. God, I love you more than you'll ever, ever know. You smiled, and I think we came to some kind of pleasant peace, a sight better than what we had. At that point, our meeting was disrupted by the wail of sirens and barking dogs. I took to playing the hero easily. I'd seen it done in a movie, so I knew what to do. I joined the fray in earnest, wanting to bear witness to the riot, to see in action a primal human thing, the running wild. This is what intruded upon my vision of you. Chaos reigns, a melee spins out of control, fires burn in the streets, bullets sing past like buzzing flies, and motion, constantly spasmodic, rolls the landscape forward at about 24 frames per second. It all became too real. The wolves nipped too closely at my heels. I went home. After a frenzied elevator ride, I got back to that office and found you waiting. I held you close and said all the things I'd ever really wanted to say to you, poured out my heart, risked my life, and made damn certain you knew I love you and always, always will. I awakened to the room I fell asleep in, nothing different from the hours and days past, and all I know is you must have felt me dreaming of you, and if you did, I'm glad. I can't come out and say any of this to your face. I'm a coward. For my cowardice, I'm sorry. And for being sorry, I feel sorrier still. I just can't express this ham-handed love properly in the acceptable ways, so I must wait for mystical forces I'm not sure I believe in to transmit my thoughts out to you in their rawest form in the night. All the grand gestures I never got a chance to make are waiting in repose for that moment of decision in which I choose to stop feeling sorry for myself and start apologizing for the harm I've done.
We're going to get a lot of calls on that 800 number if we ever get around to flashing it on the screen. Francine, you going to put David in your play? How about it?
I'm still just reacting to that. It's beautiful.
Such a mellow approach.
Yeah.
What triggered this story? Something in my head?
It's just a dream. It's actually a dream I had about someone I knew a while ago and never really said any of the things I said in the story to her, and just found this way of getting it out and not keeping it rolling around.
When I have dreams like that, I end up writing material worthy of Bela Lugosi. But anyway, we all have our different approach. When you write a story like this, what generally do you do with it once it's down on paper? Do you just take it on your circuit and perform it, or are there places that will actually publish this for you?
Well, actually, I have read it I've read this story a few times as a storytelling piece, but putting together a chapbook that should be out sometime before the summer is over. The title is Space and Direction, Grand Island, Nebraska, which is the title of another short story.
They have a lot of that out there, I think.
Yeah.
Space and Direction.
Well, it's a place I've went to once, actually, a rest stop.
Your compass broke, I take it.
No, I was on spring break in Nebraska, in Lincoln, so I figured let's go to the middle of the state and see some buffalo.
Hey, spring break in Nebraska. Was this during your vaudeville days?
Well, no. But
you were telling me earlier
that was
you were dabbling with that form as well.
A friend of mine who's now in Pittsburgh is, we put together a comedy team, our updated version of a vaudeville team called Sappy and Maudlin.
Uh-huh. Which were you?
I'm Maudlin.
Oh, okay. I would have never guessed. Actually, I wouldn't have guessed the other one either. Anyway, and where did you vaudevilize?
An open mic space called Exile with the Staten Island Center for the Performing Arts. They were a theater troupe that did poetry and guerrilla stuff here and there and everywhere they didn't get kicked out of.
Mm-hmm. Classic case of putting all your eggs into one ferry boat. And I think you have another poem in there somewhere.
Yeah, I do. Let's see what we got here. Flip it over. This is called Not Just a Sunny Day. Tell me, speak to me, lay it down straight and true. Say it's not a sunny day and the sky is no longer blue. Turn it all upside down, spin Newton on his ear. Tell me, any lie I wish to hear. What's never taught is the way clear of lingering doubts, hunger, and ice-cold stabbing fear. Everything that got out of Pandora's box now runs the world, shifting every gear. When the wrong man gets every job, unqualified for the occupation, easy answers to age-old ills seem to soothe all our nations. So tell me, speak to me, lay it down straight and true. Say it's not just a sunny day and break every bankrupt rule.
Yeah, I want to rush right out and break a few bankrupt rules myself. Speaking of which, do you remember any of the cleaner vaudeville jokes that you used to do in Staten Island?
Sappy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Sappy. I know you drink.
Hey, Maudlin. Yeah.
I hear you drink a lot, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
That's great.
You've been known to hoist a stein or two, right?
Yeah.
And many other famous lesbian authors. Hoist a stein, you see.
In keeping with our Star Trek motif, I think I was just hoist on my own Picard there. You can't beat me with that. David, Mark Speer. If you go down in history, it won't be for lines like that, but thanks for coming on to Poet the Poet and Francine Witt. I appreciate your coming down and not fleeing the stage at vaudeville routine. We will get letters. Thanks to Bob and Steve and Coney Island High here for letting us in here. And speaking of fish stories, here is one. Aquaria of expertise. Jet airlines taxi about the tarmac like fish in an aquarium. Exercise enthusiasts meander from machine to machine in their gymnasia like fish in an aquarium. Shoppers mall walk from store to store like fish in an aquarium. What is left of your mind drifts from word to word in this missive like fish in an aquarium. Please do not feed the fish. How many fish have you fed lately?
Not many.
Francine? No fish. All right. And we'll close out with one more little bit of advice. He who plants a tree a week will someday reforest Mozambique. But he who plants a kiss per cheek will ultimately die of pique. And that's about it for Poet the Poet. This is Robert Dunn wishing you bon voyage until next time. See ya.